Hi, welcome back to eStarland. I'm Jaishon here with our resident Sega Saturn expert Cullen, and today we have a trade-in from Robert we're going to dive right into. Ooh, the jewel cases,
we got a lot of good stuff in here.
Jewel cases.
Oh, man.
So many shooters, adventure games, everything, man.
Definitely seeing a lot of exciting stuff. Stuff I'm happy to see.
Oh, these are the multi-taps.
We've got a ton of Japanese Saturn imports in here, and best of all, we've got the key to playing them. We've got the GameShark also. This is a must-have for the Saturn. If you're getting into any Saturn stuff, you gotta have one of these. This is awesome for playing imports, cheats, also backing up when the save battery dies on the system. Unfortunately, this doesn't have like the action replay, the 4 megabytes of RAM that you so desperately need in order to play a lot of the fighting games on the Saturn. However, we do still have a lot of games here that you can play, a lot of RPGs. We got Sonic Jam, fantastic. A lot of really cool things.
No, but I see a lot of the great jewel cases kept in amazing condition. I have Sega Marine Fishing, and let me tell you something. I love my jungle and drum and bass, and this game has so much jungle and drum and bass. It's awesome. It just makes me want to dance and groove around, playing with the Amen break playing around. It's funny because an awesome soundtrack in a fishing game of all games, like why is the game have such awesome music? There's no reason for that.
Those games are such a pleasure to play. Like I remember a distinct memory of playing the Sega Bass Fishing at Chuck E. Cheese, and it was just fantastic. I loved growing up.
Did it have the
with the reel and everything? the reel and everything.
Yeah, but fantastic. Let's get to these, because you were telling me about these bad boys, which it still blows my mind how the fact that there's 6 players per multi-tap. Like, are there even any games that can handle 12 players?
There actually are some games that can handle 12. One that can handle 10, actually, which I think I did see in here somewhere. Okay, just the disc. This alone is worth probably well over 100, maybe even a couple $100 here. Saturn Bomberman. It is the one Sega Saturn Bomberman game, or the one Bomberman game at all, actually, that actually can allow 10 players to play on one system. You gotta use both of those multi-taps. Now, since we are located here in America and we have a US system over here, we are going to demonstrate with the use of the GameShark how you can actually play Japanese games if you don't have a Japanese or modded system. So, Jaishon, if you will plug in the GameShark. I guess this one, the battery is not fully up to date, because with the Saturn, if your battery in the system dies, you lose all of your save files. Another great thing about the GameShark is that you can actually save your data on there, so that way you don't actually lose those save files. So if you were like halfway into an RPG and then you just lose everything, that would really suck. So that's what we got on here, the memory manager. You can use your enhancements, not cheats. But we're just going to fire this straight up, and we're just going to play without anything. These things are honestly pretty affordable. I think a lot of times action replays, GameSharks are in the $30, $40 range, which is just absolutely so much worth getting one. It is a must-have for a Saturn. As you can see, we've got our Japanese game playing just like that.
Alright, so the next import game we have here is Slayers, which I guess is based off of Japanese anime, which has some pretty questionable proportions on some of these characters here, but let's start this up.
Okay. Straight to the point. No dramatic cutscenes.
So I did notice with some of the import games, it does translate from Japanese to English, but in others it doesn't.
Yeah, some menus on some Japanese Saturn games will have a lot of actually English in them, and then others will just have like full kanji that you can't really make out. See? That's nice. It's like we're there.
It's for the real 90s anime fans right here. Oh!
Alright, so we have now the Sega CD set up, the Model 2 Genesis and the Sega CD Model 2 there.
So we're going to be showing off Road Adventure today, which I know me and Colin have a little bit of differing opinions about based on the fact that it is just one long quick time event, albeit a good looking one, but let's pop that in there.
The thing about this game is that it's just the best intro of any game I've ever played.
I know this was during a time when FMVs were really taking over video gaming, and the fact that it was blurring that line between movies and gaming, where you would just like a lot of QTEs where you'd be playing an interactive movie that would be disguised as a game. I don't think it's actually a game.
I mean, hey, technically it is a game, even though if it is just essentially one big cutscene that you just interact with. But it's a more fun version of that, and that's why I love games like this.
All right, so we actually have a bunch of Genesis Master System cartridges here too, but one of these is not like the rest. There's actually a weird looking one here that I thought was a Genesis card, but it says it's a Sega CD backup RAM card. You want to explain that to him?
Yes, even though this does look exactly like a Genesis cartridge, this is actually very rare and very highly sought after for anybody in the Sega CD community or owners of them. This is actually the only device that lets you save your game data, so that way you don't have to either use like a password or just don't have any data whatsoever. So this is basically like a big memory card and the only version. There's no third-party version of this. This is the only way to actually save your Sega CD games. So these are really awesome to get, and very expensive too.
So of course Sega was really known for its awesome space shooters, so we're gonna pop one in right now. Gaires. I'm probably pronouncing that horribly wrong, but let's pop that one in there.
So we got this one. It is pretty uncommon. I don't think a lot of people actually know about this. I never knew about this game for a really long time. And then also El Viento, another kind of action game. Both of these, not many people have heard of. They're really expensive as a result of that. Very collectible among the real niche Genesis collector community. One thing both these games do have in common is their cover arts are completely different in Japan. This one has a nude woman on it, on the cover of it. Instead we have this some different characters in a spaceship and a skull-looking guy. And then El Viento also much more Japanese looking. So they definitely, kind of a cool example of how they tried to localize in another country, the United States, try to make it look a little more appealing to the American gamers.
This is a wide variety of Sega stuff. I mean, we got stuff from the Genesis, CD, Dreamcast, Saturn. I mean, you were really hyping up some of these games, Cullen, and I know this one in particular, you hyped up a lot just because of the 10-player mode. Like, come on, man. Like, that's just insane to me. So,
I know. Do we have anybody else here?
Yeah, we probably have some. Probably can get
actually
some people,
do the 10 players. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, man. Well, let's get this set up and let's clean this up so we can get right to it and get these 12-player Sega Saturn multi-taps going. So let's get it.